Right now at noon, the DeForest Village Board comes to a decision on whether to oust a trustee. Plus, the family of one of the Jeffrey Epstein accusers is questioning the treatment of co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell and the new details about her interview with the DOJ. This is News 3 Now at noon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Josh Ryder. Breaking news as we come on the air out of Georgia. A U.S. Army base is under lockdown due to an active shooter incident. This is happening at Fort Stewart. According to police, the shooter is no longer a threat, but a Fort Stewart social media post says there are casualties. More than 10,000 people, including soldiers, families, and Army employees, live on the post about 40 miles southwest of Savannah. Fort Stewart is home to the Army's 3rd Infantry Division. Stay with News 3 Now on channel3000.com for updates. To an update now on a Wisconsin man who went missing while hiking in Norway. The Norwegian Red Cross says Alec Lund has been found alive. Lund is a Stoughton native and UW-Madison graduate. He was found by helicopter in a national park and is now getting medical treatment. The climate journalist was found conscious with some injuries to his legs. His wife reported him missing on Monday after he missed his flight home. The village of DeForest will have an election next month. That's after the village board voted to oust trustee Bill Landgraf. Residents claim he harassed and intimidated them, leading to a recall petition signed by more than 1,500 people. His behavior had been exacerbated by a controversial fluoride vote. Landgraf asked the village clerk to void 200 of the signatures. He noted errors like names printed illegally, signatures in the wrong box, or not dated. The clerk found only 12 of those to be unacceptable, not enough to invalidate the petition.
Looking at the corrections that were made, in my opinion, they appeared to be written by the person that had also wrote the name out of the certifier. So in my opinion, that was valid.
We looked at those and talked to the Wisconsin Elections Commission, and they said, no, those are not things that you need to worry about.
Petitioner Mark Stork says he was confident the recall effort would be successful. That's after gathering those signatures from residents and hearing firsthand what he calls heartfelt support. The special election is set to take place on September 16th. The recall committee is backing Alicia William. She ran for the board as a write-in April to replace Landgraf. Landgraf will still be on the ballot. In a statement to News 3 Now, he says he does intend to win his seat back, telling voters in part, quote, "I encourage anyone who cares about integrity and accountability in our village leadership to do their due diligence," end quote. The couple accused of poisoning women in both Rock and Dane counties are pleading not guilty. Paul Van Dyne and Andrew Whitaker appearing in Dane County Court. Van Dyne faces charges of conspiracy to commit first-degree intentional homicide and stalking. Whitaker is charged with conspiracy to commit first-degree intentional homicide, stalking, and harboring and aiding a felon. A move to lower Whitaker's Dane County bail by her defense from $4 million was denied.
She was a student, otherwise law-abiding person. She has no prior failures to appear. We are asking that the court reduce her bail to $10,000.
We're talking about poisons that can kill people in quite small amounts. I can't remember a case in which all these factors led me to believe that just an extraordinary amount of cash bail is necessary.
Van Dyne pleaded not guilty in Rock County last week. An attorney-only status conference is set in Dane County for October 15th. Let's turn to the weather now, where the air quality continues to improve a little bit by little bit here. Meteorologist Jacob Montesano has the first warn forecast. Hi, Jacob.
Hey, Josh. Yeah, starting with that air quality, right now it's at the moderate to unhealthy for some level, but it's not expected to be at this level for the entire day. Now, looking at the air quality across the region, you can see it is a lot better further west, and the wildfire smoke continues to push from west to east, so eventually we're going to be seeing that moderate to good air quality, especially later tonight. Now, as we take a look at the current air quality alerts, there are none across Wisconsin. Still to the south of us across parts of Illinois, but again, we're still at that unhealthy for some level. Now, looking at the smoke forecast, you can see that smoke just lingering across Wisconsin right now, but it is expected to clear out for tonight. However, there are some wildfires out west that are producing some smoke, so we still might see some additional smoke move into our area for Thursday. And then as we get into Thursday night, it will be clear, but looking off to the west, this smoke may move back into our area. The good news is that we are going to see some pretty strong winds, so hopefully strong winds by the end of the week. So hopefully that smoke will eventually move out of the area for the weekend. But those wildfires popping up out west may continue to cause our air quality to be low. Now, temperatures pretty similar to this time yesterday, a little bit warmer, upper 70s, lower 80s. We continue to see sunny skies, and we're going to see mostly sunny skies to partly cloudy skies throughout the day, as highs will be in the middle to lower 80s. So we're going to continue to see these the air quality be on a little bit on the lower side for the next couple of days, but I'll talk more in detail about that coming up a bit later.
All right, Jacob, we'll see you for full weather in a few minutes. Thank you. New details about Ghislaine Maxwell's interview with the Department of Justice. CBS News confirming that Jeffrey Epstein's co-conspirator did not say anything that would implicate President Trump. It comes as the family of an Epstein accuser speaking to CBS News. Here's Natalie Brand.
None of this feels normal and none of it feels above board.
The family of the late Virginia Giuffre, who became one of the most vocal Jeffrey Epstein accusers, is questioning the treatment of co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell, serving a prison sentence for sex trafficking.
She wasn't a victim like the narrative is trying to change right now. She was an active participant in the abuse.
Why are we listening to a known perjurer? I mean, I think if anybody needs to be heard, it's the survivors.
Maxwell, who is appealing her case and seeking clemency, is also arguing against the Justice Department's request to unseal grand jury testimony in the case. In Maxwell's roughly 9-hour interview last month with Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, a source tells CBS News that she did not say anything that would harm or implicate President Trump.
I didn't talk to him about it.
President Trump told reporters he doesn't know what was discussed, but indicated he has complete confidence in the Deputy Attorney General, who previously served as his personal attorney.
It's not an uncommon thing to do that. And I think he probably wants to make sure that, people that should not be involved or aren't involved are not hurt by something that would be very, very unfortunate, very unfair to a lot of people.
On Capitol Hill, the House Oversight Committee issued subpoenas for former President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. In 2019, Clinton's office said that while he knew nothing about the terrible crimes Epstein committed, he took 4 trips on an Epstein plane in 2002 and 2003. The House committee also wants to hear from former attorneys general and DOJ officials who oversaw federal investigations of Epstein. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
CBS News reached out to the Clintons regarding the subpoena, but they have not yet responded. At the state capitol, after passing the budget, Governor Evers is calling for more health care funding. The new budget already includes over $1 billion to health care facilities across the state, with an emphasis on more rural areas. The budget also includes $53 million for Medicaid reimbursement. The governor says that investment was crucial to help ensure quality care across the Badger State.
Not going to be able to force the healthcare systems to receive less money. They have costs just like everybody else. So the state has to be on top of it and be ready. That's the bottom line. We need to continue to support the healthcare systems.
Governor Evers also awarded 2 clinics with special grants during his stops in Eau Claire and La Crosse. Right now, online enrollment and registration is open for Madison School District students. That's at the website on your screen right here. Every family needs to complete this process. If your kids are returning to school, you'll need to verify or update their information. If you have any issues accessing the enrollment portal, you can get in touch with the office at 608-663-4957 or through email. Our Stuff the Bus campaign underway right now in partnership with the Boys and Girls Clubs of Dane County as we help local students start the school year ready to succeed. Until the 15th this month, we're collecting essential school supplies to support hundreds of kids across Dane County. You can help by donating and dropping off those donations at our drop-off sites. Find all of that information on channel3000.com. Coming up next on News 3 Now at noon, break out the checkbook when the U.S. government is set to auction off a super yacht. Plus, what 2 major sports networks are announcing a merger that could shake up the industry.
U.S. government is set to auction off a super yacht worth more than $300 million. The massive ship includes multiple elevators and spas and can host up to 16 guests. The FBI seized the Amadea back in 2022 from Fiji after it was linked to a sanctioned Russian oil billionaire. Attorneys claim another non-sanctioned Russian oil executive owns the massive yacht, and they are calling the sale improper and premature. According to the auction's website, bidders must put down a $10 million deposit in order to participate. Two major sports networks, ESPN and the NFL Network, are merging. The National Football League says Disney-owned ESPN is set to acquire the NFL Network and other assets, including Red Zone and NFL Fantasy, in exchange for a 10% stake in ESPN. In a second non-binding deal, the NFL will license some content and intellectual property to ESPN. And if you've ever wondered what breast milk tastes like, here's your chance. Parenting brand Frida has released a breast milk flavored ice cream available for shipping through the company's website. The ice cream does not contain actual breast milk, but according to the company, has a sweet and salty taste with hints of honey. The August release coincides with National Breastfeeding Awareness Month. That's your CBS News Money Watch report. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Jesse Mitchell.
Here's the stock report at the noon hour. The Dow's up 102 points, NASDAQ up 196, and the S&P 500 up this hour 42. Our call for action volunteers are in the building today taking your consumer complaints and taking action on your behalf. You can call for action at 608-270-2833 or submit a claim anytime at channel3000.com/call for action. We'll have the farm numbers straight ahead along with the first warn forecast, and later on Live at 4, whether some of the current mechanisms used to determine a person's health need an update. Pam Yankee out of the radio barn on her Canadian Rockies farm tour, so here are your farm numbers. Well, those temperatures are heating back up across southern Wisconsin. Here's meteorologist Jacob Montesano with the first warn forecast. Hi, Jacob.
Hey, Josh. Yeah, we're going to see highs near 90 for Friday and Saturday. And it also looks like we may continue to see some lower air quality because right as those winds shift out of the south later in the week, that's when we're going to see some of that wildfire smoke move in from the west rather than from Canada. Just can't seem to catch a break here in Wisconsin. And as far as rainfall goes, we are going to see a few chances of thunderstorms this week, but nothing right now looks too significant until maybe Sunday. Now, starting with the smoke, you can see just a little bit of that light smoke across the area, lowering the air quality. It will improve tonight, but we could see more smoke move back into the area for Thursday. And then for Thursday afternoon, it looks like it will improve again, but looking off to the west, you can see that smoke begin moving into our area. And again, like I mentioned, we're going to see the winds out of the south. So if the smoke were coming in from Canada, it would push out of our region. But unfortunately, that's just been our luck lately. And let's take a look at the smoke, or at the winds forecast, excuse me. They're really going to pick up later in the day Thursday. And then for Friday, they're going to be even stronger. So hopefully the winds are strong enough to potentially completely push that smoke out of the region. And the winds are going to continue through Saturday and into early Sunday as well. It looks like they will calm down once we get to Monday. So hopefully the wind that we're going to see Friday through Sunday will kind of push all that smoke out of the region. But it does look like we may see some of that smoke move back into our area. Now, as far as temperatures, we're going to see highs in the middle to lower 80s today. We will see more clouds compared to yesterday, and temperatures maybe a little bit warmer, but otherwise pretty similar. We are going to see a chance of storms for your Thursday, as highs will once again be in that middle 80s. 80 range. But as we get into Friday and Saturday, those temperatures are going to warm up a bit. The smoke may keep the temperatures a little bit lower if it does move into our area, but right now we're projecting highs around 90. Still going to be warm for next week, but not quite as warm as what we'll see Friday and Saturday. Now, looking at those rain chances, we're not expecting any rain today, maybe a very isolated shower for places off to the west, but otherwise we're going to remain dry through the overnight hours as well. Once we get to Thursday afternoon, though, we could see a few pop-up showers and thunderstorms. Nothing expected to be too significant, but it could rain for a brief period of time for your area. And then for Thursday night, we may see some additional light showers move into the region. But again, nothing looks too significant across our area for the rest of this week. But rain chances are expected to increase once we get towards the later portion of the weekend for Sunday. And then those rain chances are going to continue for next week. But as you can see, still could see some rainfall for the rest of the week, but nothing is expected to be too dramatic. So once we get to early next week, as I mentioned, temperatures are going to still be on the warmer side. So it still will be humid and maybe some heat index values will be near 90, but nothing is expected to be quite as hot as some of those alert days we had in July. So unfortunately, we're going to continue to be dealing with some lower air quality. As yesterday we kept talking about how it looks like it's going to clear up, but then, of course, wildfire smoke is now going to move into our area from the west rather than from the north. And that, like I said, that's just been our luck lately with the smoke. Just can't seem to get rid of it.
Yeah, if it's not one thing, it's another. And I think we just keep getting robbed of these perfect summer days. There's always something.
Yeah, and, I will say this. The 10-day forecast certainly shows that summer's not over yet. I mean, 80s across the board. So for those of you that want to hang on to summer, we are still going to see those summer-like temperatures, but we'll continue to see some lower air quality. But there also will be some times where it won't be too bad.
All right, Jacob, thank you. Today in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, Howard has a recipe giving onion rings a run for their money.
If you have a garden or have been to a local produce stand lately, then you know it's pepper season. And once they start coming, there seems to be no end to them. Now, with them being so abundant, I thought I'd share a few of my favorite ways to use them. Now's the time to dig out that stuffed pepper recipe that you haven't made in a while. The one that every time you make it, you say, I need to make this more often. Or how about whipping up a batch of fried pepper rings, which is a close cousin to the onion ring? For that, all we do is cut a pepper into 1/4-inch rings after removing the seeds. Next, we dip them in an easy throw-together batter that's made with things that you probably have in your pantry. Now, we cook them a few at a time in about 1 inch or so of hot oil. And when they're golden, we take them out and drain them on paper towels before sprinkling on some salt. That's it. They're ready to serve. Let me tell you, these are as great as a side dish as they are as an appetizer. I do hope you'll go online and get the recipe for our French fried pepper rings, along with the recipe for our orzo stuffed peppers, so you can turn that bounty of peppers into a treat that's hard to resist. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen with Kelly, who obviously can't resist these either.
Ooh,
How are they?
quite tasty.
In other words, ooh, it's so good.
We'll keep the food theme going after the break. We're talking beef brisket with Angie Horkin from the Wisconsin Beef Council. Stay with us for some recipe inspiration. Welcome back. Angie Horkin from the Wisconsin Beef Council is with us today. Hi, Angie.
Hi.
We're talking beef brisket.
We are. It's great smoking weather.
Yes, it is.
Jacob's been talking about smoke, but if you like,
This is the smoke we like to talk about.
This is the smoke we like to talk about. Yeah, the patio smoke.
And you're kind of making it easy with a couple of different inspirational recipes.
Yeah, maybe if you go out and you invest in a big, large brisket and you smoke it and you have a lot left over, which sometimes I do because I only have a family of 4, the Chekhov's created some fun recipes to take that brisket and extend it into more recipes.
Love it.
Rather than just maybe having it as leftovers 2, 3, 4
And you can
times.
change it up a little bit.
You can definitely change it up a little bit.
Awesome.
So the brisket I made is from this epic brisket flat sandwich recipe. So that is on the website on beeftips.com. So simple smoked brisket recipe with some seasonings. And then this sandwich recipe kind of has a homemade cold slaw, vinegar and oil dressing. Homemade.
Yep.
Of course, you don't have to do that. And then it has a really good mustard barbecue sauce.
Ooh.
And the base of this is yellow mustard, apple cider vinegar, some brown sugar, some honey Worcestershire, some simple ingredients. But yeah, it's really good. So, you know, take that brisket and have it the next day as a beautiful sandwich. Kind of very popular to do.
Absolutely.
Now, this recipe is really fun. We were thinking outside the box.
Love deviled eggs.
Brisket deviled eggs. So you could have one if you like, but it's nice deviled egg filling, but then there's a little bit of chopped jalapeno in there and then some of the chopped brisket.
Ooh.
But otherwise pretty traditional deviled egg filling.
Good protein.
Very good protein, topped with a little smoked paprika. Then a breakfast sandwich. So this is called beef brisket tartine. So tartine means like open-faced sandwich in French, but open-faced sandwich. I did some crusty bread, topped it with some garlic herb spreadable cheese, delicious.
Yum.
And then the slices of the cooked brisket, and then pepper jack cheese, popped in the oven at 350 for about 5 to 7 minutes, just got it all hot, got the cheese melted, and then topped with scrambled eggs with a little green onion.
Love that.
Talk about protein-packed
That
breakfast.
is amazing.
This is perfect. So if you're looking to increase your protein intake at all day parts,
all right.
Check out beeftips.com, click on As Seen on TV. All of our great, fun, creative brisket recipes are there.
Time to dig in. Angie, thank you so much. Thanks for watching News 3 Now at noon. Coming up next is The Bold and the Beautiful. Our next newscast is at 4, and you can find us streaming 24/7 on Channel 3000+. Make it a great day.